Ever today.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Baturdays in the BatCave, where Taylor was going to tell us about the best picture of him ever.
Me and Tyler worked on this one picture I did today on my Instagram at Minister of Comics, and I did a stupid thing, and I looked up on Google what's the best time to post on Saturday, and they said 9 to 11 in the morning. So I posted at 9:30. Let me tell you guys, that's a bad time to post because it was just I didn't get any likes compared to what I usually get. I never post before noon. It's not a good idea. You're not going to get likes. So if you want to make me feel better, go to at Minister of Comics. Give me a follow. Give me a like on this new picture that Tyler Blunt helped me out with last night.
Oh, I thought you meant it was a picture of yourself.
No, it was a picture of a toy. A picture of Spider-Man. It was a picture of Spider-Man taking a selfie of himself for the Daily Bugle.
I never think about when to post. I just post when I feel like it. I don't give a second thought to it.
After 2 months of doing Instagram, I've kind of learned when the best time of day is and not to listen to Google anymore about their Instagram advice because it's never good. It's never helpful. Both times me and Tyler have listened to it, it hasn't helped. That's what we've noticed.
Huh.
But I'm almost at 900 followers, so if you guys want to push me over the edge tonight, that'd be great.
Taylor's Instagram handle is in the description box of this video. If you'd like to just click it, it'll take you right there.
And it's right here. You can't click it, but you can at least look at what my Instagram handle is. And Jess, I should probably give you some financial kickback, even though I get no money from this, because you're the one who came up with my Minister of Comics title.
At least that's all I care about. Uncanny Omar gives me no credit when I came up with that name.
The Untimely Omar.
He's not calling himself Uncanny Omar, and everybody thinks, oh, what a great nickname. Yeah, well, I'm the one that gave it to him.
I like the Untimely Omar better. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, he definitely is untimely. Although he was on time yesterday for the toy show.
Yeah, speaking of everybody, Jess, Tyler Blunt, and Omar, Nearman Condition, and I did a show on Super Squad D, Tyler Blunt's channel, all about the Hasbro Pulse reveals from yesterday. Oh, wow. Astonishing Melanie is here.
Wow.
I didn't know
he owes me residuals.
He owes you some of that Patreon money, some of that Marvel money.
I don't want any of that Patreon money. He works too hard for that. He works way harder than I would ever. Well, today we are, by the way, I'm OmniDog from OmniDog's Vault, and this is the Minister of Comics. And we're discussing our favorite Rebirth books. And, okay, welcome, Lucas Brewer. First time here live. Good. His phone is about to die. Oh.
Yeah, and a lot of people earlier on in the chat seemed happy that you're back and ready for a live show, Jess. I know you were kind of out of commission for a couple of weeks, but now you're back.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't doing well, but now I'm doing much better. I feel way better. So I just needed to get the right meds, and so for right now I'm feeling a lot better, and I believe it can continue for a while. It's a week-to-week thing depending on the mood of my doctor, so we'll just have to see.
So strike while the iron's hot with reading and videos.
Yeah, thank you, Sasmurf. I appreciate it. I've been trying to read, but the first thing that happens when a husband is sick and then gets well,
chores.
Yeah. Chores and errands. That's what I've been doing almost all week. I haven't been able to, well, I haven't had a chance to do as much reading as I'd like. I've been able to take some pictures and post some stuff on Instagram, but I haven't read enough to make a video. So I'm hoping this week I can do it because I want to read. Thank you so much, Melanie. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I know we were talking about wanting to do a crime corner soon. We haven't done one of those like in a month and a half or longer. Someone mentioned that in our show yesterday. And then I know for 2 weeks from now, we want to do a video about a Jeff Johns Superman spotlight because I just finished my Jeff Johns Superman readathon. I know you're interested in rereading all of that stuff.
Yeah.
There's 2 books. Yes, 2 weeks. Unless you want to push it, I don't care.
No,
I think you have read all of them. Besides, you didn't read Last Son. Is that what it was?
I haven't read Last Son yet. No.
Okay, but you read everything else by him in
Yeah.
regards to Superman.
Yeah.
I did skip New Krypton because I don't have the mental energy to try to track those books down. There's way too many.
It's a big chunk of Superman material too.
And it's only a little bit by Jeff Johns too in the beginning. I don't think there's much Jeff Johns stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't think it necessarily counts as part of a Jeff Johns readathon because so much of it is by somebody else that I wouldn't worry.
I've heard it's kind of a mixed bag. There's good parts and there's bad parts.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%.
I mean, it was really interesting because the end of Brainiac by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank kind of opens up the door to New Krypton. And so I liked how Brainiac kind of ended in a really satisfying way on a somber note, but also left open for more stories. But I didn't feel like I had to continue on. I felt like I could stop there.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd recommend New Krypton to everyone. I don't know that I'd recommend it to you because I think it's more for, I would say, the either hardcore Superman fan and or the completist.
I'm becoming more of a hardcore Superman fan.
Okay.
Last year, I would say early last year, I would say I think Superman's okay. And then I read Superman's Secret Identity by Kurt Busiek, and that changed everything for me. And I kind of switched off that little switch in my mind that thought Superman was boring. And now I'm like, he's the most relatable character ever. And I know Jess and I at one point want to do a video about why Superman isn't lame. Because a lot of people think he is lame.
I'd like to do that really soon.
We'll do that sometime soon. And Omar's talking to us here, Jess.
Yeah, Omar's saying, let the record show that according to my lawyer, all I owned, Jess, first of all, your spelling isn't right, was a shout out in 2 of my videos. Well, you haven't given me those, so my lawyer will be contacting your lawyer. Let the record show that Jess reading included my edited wiki entries, and I corrected them because they were wrong. And now he's blaming it on his phone. Okay, sure, dude.
It was fun last night having you and Omar fight back and forth. Even though it was mainly just him and Tyler talking to each other while we listened.
Yeah, when it got to G.I. Joes and Power Rangers, I don't know those, so I'm certainly not gonna bash them, but I don't know them, so I can't talk about them. And Transformers, I just think are cool and fun to collect. And I don't know the history or lore or saga or anything. I just think it's cool that robots can turn into jets and cars and stuff. So I don't necessarily feel like I certainly can't speak to anything other than how fun Transformers are. So
yeah, the G.I. Joe section and the Power Ranger section was a little bit cumbersome for me, a little bit tedious, but we made it through.
And then there's the Star Wars section where we found out Dr. Aphra is $160 on eBay. That's way past what I will pay for a figure. Way past.
And it sounds like the Astonishing Melanie's excited about our Superman Isn't Lame video. So maybe we'll do that in 4 weeks from now after the Jeff Johns readathon.
Okay.
We'll do 2 Superman videos in a row because Jess and I are that big of fans of Superman.
That is right.
I know Jess is a bigger Superman fan than I am because he has 50 years behind him, but
55 years.
I'm almost done with I have 2 more episodes left in my Superman animated series rewatch.
Nice. I haven't even started that.
You're gonna love that, Jess. It's so amazing.
I haven't even been able to watch Batman the Animated Series because I have so many things to do. How did I get sucked into that? I wasn't feeling well. Then I am feeling well, and all of a sudden I'm given things to do. Shouldn't there be some me time? Yeah.
I don't want to get in trouble with your wife, so I'm just gonna stay silent on this one.
Yeah, I think you should. It's just me complaining.
But now that you're feeling better, hopefully you can get some Batman animated series squeezed in. Cause that's the video I'm looking forward to the most this year.
Yeah, that's certainly the one that that's certainly the longest promised episode ever. I think maybe since our first show.
It's been, I think, whenever I sent you my first list of ideas back in 2019, it was one of the first 5 ideas, I think.
List of ideas for our show?
Yeah, whenever I was pitching the idea to you about doing Baturdays in the BatCave back in the day, like 2 years ago. I think that was one of the first 5 ideas. But you were like, I haven't watched it. And I was like, okay. And you're like, maybe later this year. Then 2 years later, we're almost there.
For Girelli, no, I'm right here. I didn't. Although
I think he meant because you left the Facebook group.
No.
I don't think he means gone from this earth.
I'm not gone from this earth. I'm still alive and well, and I have 5 extra hours a day to myself now that I left Facebook, which is great.
That's a lot of extra free time.
That is, and it's all spent doing chores, which is not how I planned it.
Uh-oh, this backfired. Facebook sounds better than chores.
Yeah. So we have our favorite Rebirth books, and I wanted to make sure that we did. Part of it, I think, should be just a small. I have videos on how to read DC Rebirth. If you're interested in how to read DC Rebirth, how to get started, you can look at my library, and there is a video from a couple years ago, how to read DC Rebirth. So we'll do a little teeny summary here, and I just realized I needed to grab one more book.
Yeah, when it comes to how to read DC Rebirth, the only title that it's really important to read in order is Superman. Superman is the one you really have to be careful and make sure you have a proper reading order. And Jess's video from a couple years ago is really helpful in regards to that.
Yeah, because if you're going to get into Superman, first of all, we both agree, Taylor and I, that Superman's one of our favorite Rebirth titles. I don't know that we're going to be ranking this, but you and I both love Superman by Tomasi and Gleason. If you're going to read Superman by Tomasi and Gleason, you do not have a choice. This is not optional. It's mandatory, because otherwise you're going into it with less than enough information. And that is, you need to read Final Days of Superman, which has Road to Rebirth on it for a reason. And then you have to read Lois and Clark, also Road to Rebirth.
They're both great. They're not just chores you have to slog through. They're both great reads.
They're both awesome. They're both great. This is the best thing Dan Jurgens has ever written, is Superman, Lois, and Clark. And then, of course, this is Tomasi, so we know it's good. It wraps up the New 52 Superman. It gives us an introduction into Rebirth Superman, and this fully gets us jump-started on Rebirth Superman. And by reading these, you will be able to enjoy one of my choices that was short-lived for a reason. So I'm going to show all 3 books. But you do have to read Final Days of Superman to enjoy these books, and they are fun, and that is Superwoman. This is where Lana Lang and Lois Lane get superpowers and exist on this other Earth for a time period, and they get them in Final Days of Superman. Their superpowers. And Phil Jimenez wrote this? I didn't.
Really?
I didn't know that. Wow. I didn't even know he could write.
You weren't a big fan of his omnibus for Wonder Woman, right?
No.
Did he write and draw that omnibus?
No. Emanuela Lupacino did.
Oh.
Al Pacino did.
I know Al Pacino did comics.
Yeah. Well, the art is fantastic, and this is just a fun story with a couple of superpowered superwomen from the alternate Earth and what happens to them. And the only reason I'm sort of bringing this up early is because it needs to it's a perfect example of what needs to be read after Final Days of Superman. I think that, and it was only, I think, 18 issues. It was 3 trades.
That would have been a good hardcover.
18, yeah, sure. It would have been a great deluxe.
And they wouldn't have been able to cancel it because there'd only be 1 volume.
Right. It's just a ton of fun, and it got beautiful art, and I love it. It was one of my favorite Rebirth titles. When Rebirth was first coming out, I gave everything a chance. I would buy everything in trade form. I did wait until the deluxes came out for all the books that got deluxes. But I highly recommend, if you like Final Days of Superman and Lois and Clark, that you check out Superwoman. I found it to be really well read. Really well written, and a completely fun read. It was excellent. I don't know. Now, Phil Jimenez wrote the first one. Then he had help from Kay Perkins on the second one. And then Kay Perkins is the one who wrote all of volume 3. So looking at this reminds me that I need to read this again, because it was really good. And I already read it like 3 or 4 times. It's just lots of fun.
So Jess, our last Baturdays in the BatCave, we did our favorite New 52 books. And we kind of talked about how we felt about that relaunch and how you felt hearing about the reboot. How did you feel when you heard about Rebirth and this new initiative several years ago, back in 2016, I believe?
I had kind of already lost interest in New 52.
And you were a big fan in the beginning of New 52. So that's saying a lot then.
Yeah, I had pretty much lost interest in a lot of the titles in New 52. I think I got excited when I read Rebirth, the deluxe edition, which is the one that shows, what's happened to Wally and how Wally's sort of the key to a lot of things that have happened. And the button is, I believe, discovered in the BatCave in this.
DC brings Wally back and then destroys him. We're so happy to have you back. Well, let's stab you in the back.
Yeah, here's the letter from Thomas Wayne from Flashpoint to Batman. And this this got me excited. The fact that nobody knew who Wally was, but he was the key to the whole thing. And and then this last page, when he finds the Watchman's button, I was like, okay, I am all in on Rebirth. I don't know what it's going to be about, but I am totally into this.
The only thing about Rebirth, I think the biggest thing about Rebirth that was disappointing was that the execution of the whole Watchmen thing didn't live up to what we were hoping for when it first started. First of all, because Doomsday Clock took 3 years to come out completely. And so by then, everyone kind of lost interest in what the whole Watchmen DC universe thing was about. So I think that was executed very poorly. But I remember how excited I was reading that issue back in 2016 with that final page you showed me of the Watchmen joining the DC universe. And there were some great aspects to it. I enjoyed Doomsday Clock more than you did. But I'm the first one to say it's more of a celebration of Superman than anything else. That whole entire book. It becomes more about Superman than Watchmen.
Yeah, and
a certain character's influence of the DC universe, it somewhat helps to explain it, but it's not the deepest explanation. So
I wasn't one that was disappointed, because I sort of forgot all about the Watchmen tie-in and explanation and everything. I just thought it'll come when it comes, and if if it's more than I think it's going to be, that's fine. And if it's less, the other stories, fortunately, the stories I liked, I really loved, and I concentrated on just enjoying those stories, and I didn't really pay attention to worrying about where the Watchmen fit in anywhere. If they did, if they didn't, I didn't care, because Batman was busy landing a plane from on top of it by himself. So,
Right.
I mean, I've talked a lot about Rebirth and Superwoman and Lois and Clark and Final Days. So why don't you, since we're sort of on the Superman subject, why don't you talk about what we like so much about Tomasi's Superman run?
Let me grab that real quick. So I have all the hardcovers of that run. So Jess and I aren't getting the omnibus that comes out. I think it's next month. We're more of hardcover deluxe guys anyway, so we're gonna stick with that. But this is a must buy if you don't have the hardcovers already, or if you don't have the trades. Definitely pick up the omnibus if you don't have better material, because it's fantastic. I love this series because it's seeing Clark Kent as a father. And if you've watched the show enough, you know I bring on my son Bat Sam every once in a while. So I get really sappy about father-son stories. And Peter Tomasi, he must have a son or multiple sons, because he knows how to write the father-son relationship, as seen in Batman and Robin and in this book. It's just great seeing Clark try to figure out how to father Superboy and still give him a somewhat of a normal childhood. And then in a couple minutes, we'll probably get to another of our favorite Rebirth books that involves Jonathan Kent as well. I just think these books are so much fun. Jess and I both enjoyed the Action Comics run as well by Dan Jurgens, but it's definitely eclipsed by the Gleason and Tomasi run. And I know a lot of people, whenever it had to go over to Brian Michael Bendis, they were like, no, keep Tomasi on. We love Tomasi. Everyone loved that series.
Yeah.
I didn't really hear many people say many bad things about it. I know a lot of people still want him to come back in the future because he just deeply understands this character.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
I think Peter Tomasi is one of the most underrated writers in comics. I think people know him, they talk about him, but I don't think he gets as much press as people like Jonathan Hickman or Scott Snyder.
Yeah, he's quietly producing some of the best comics out there.
Like the Green Lantern Corps, Batman and Robin, Batman Detective Comics Mythology. That's my favorite Batman story of all time. We're going to get to another one of our books that we like by him in a couple minutes, which I'm sure you can guess at this point. So I love Superman by Tomasi and Gleason.
Let me answer Mulder's question. I would advise against the Rebirth Omnibus, because if I recall correctly, it's just the first issue of everything that was released. So it's like the Marvel Now Omnibus or something, where it's just issue number 1 of everything that was released. I would highly advise using that money elsewhere, because all you get is one issue, and you can't get any kind of flavor of what a comic book is like just by one issue. You may get a little feel for the direction, but I don't feel like you get enough content to make you really want to go out and buy a whole series based on what's going on in just one issue, the first issue of everything released. So I would use that money to digitally sample a bunch of other things instead of buying an omnibus. Or you can do the right thing, and that's just buy everything that Taylor and I tell you to buy. Because we have read all of this Rebirth stuff 100 times, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I can't think of many omnis that if I got as a gift, I'd be more disappointed than the Rebirth omnibus. Like, it's that and the Marvel Now one. It's just pointless. Like, what? I just don't understand why people even buy it. The only reason why you'd buy it is if you're someone who buys every omnibus. That'd be the only reason that makes sense. And even then, that's stretching it.
Yeah, the omnibus collector doesn't even get those books, I don't think.
It just, I would love to have been in that meeting. Even though there probably wasn't a meeting at DC about it. There's probably just some random guy who's like, this would be a good idea. It just makes no sense. Like, who collects all the first episodes of a CW season and it puts them all together of each show.
That's a good point.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you want to watch that? Or who puts together the first 5 minutes of random movies in one Blu-ray set?
Yeah.
It's really a weird decision. Again, Jess and I have bashed DC's collected editions department's decisions ad nauseum. So it's like kicking a man while he's down. So we'll just move on from that.
Well, there will be some more kicking in this episode.
Oh, you're probably right. Well, we'll kick that corpse later.
And I'm going to bring up a book that I'm actually not going to talk a lot about, which may surprise some people, and that's Harley Quinn, because she is the only character really that I felt she wasn't reborn. It was just a continuation of the New 52 series, which is awesome. It was great. It's all contained in the Palmiotti Connor stuff is all contained in an omnibus, as well as 3 hardcovers, which is what I have. But it was just a continuation of the New 52 stuff. So it's
the 3 omnis just New 52 from them?
There's two new 52 omnis, and then there's a Rebirth omni.
So you don't have the 3rd omni?
I don't. No, I have the first 2 omnis, and then I just kept the hardcovers.
I was confused for a second.
Yeah, I just kept the hardcovers for Harley because when these hardcovers came out, they were gorgeous, and they were really a lot of fun. DC put a lot of work into these, which is, I give credit to them, because when those hardcovers came out, that was part of the excitement of Rebirth for a collected edition person, was how great these oversized hardcovers were. They were beautifully presented with a lot of issues in them, and they got you excited to have a collection of these things. So I fell prey to these things right away.
Time to kick the corpse again.
Sorry?
Time to kick that corpse again.
I'm not going to kick it just yet. It's
okay.
But it is coming up. So she's not really in my opinion, she's not part of Rebirth because she doesn't get reborn in any way. It's just a continuation of New 52. Now, I will say it's still great, and I still loved it as part of the New 52 run, though. So
I would say Rebirth isn't exactly it's not a reboot, or it's not it's not exactly a rebirth of the characters. It's more of like getting back to what they were before the New 52. What made them these special legacy characters from so many years ago. It's them kind of saying, listen, their continuity and their history does matter. It's kind of like what Jeff Johns did with Green Lantern Rebirth and Flash Rebirth back before this whole initiative was started. It's like, hey, let's get these characters back to the grassroots of what makes them special. Because like you said, New 52 was exciting at first, and it kind of started to dwindle at the end. And then people were kind of missing the continuity and the legacy of DC's, 70-some year history, 80 years at this point. So I think it was kind of getting back to what was special about DC in the first place. Right.
And this is more, it's more of just a continuation. They just continued, Palmiotti and Connor just continued writing the book as if nothing happened. So that's just why I'm not including it really in the Rebirth discussion, even though I've been talking about it for 5 minutes. So I highly recommend reading it, but it's not in the vein of getting back to the roots or anything. It's just a continuation of the greatness of the New 52 run.
And Bruce Wayne's in the chat. Batman himself is in the chat with a question for you, Jess.
Hey, Omnidog. I don't know much about Batgirl except for the Killing Joke comic and that she's in the Bat family along with other general stuff. Do you recommend reading her new Omni as a starting point? Is the new Omni Batgirl of Burnside?
No, I think it's the Gail Simone omnibus, because I don't think the Batgirl by Burnside omnibus has come out yet.
Yeah, I would recommend that, because not only is that that's why I don't have that, because I just finished that book, and so I set it someplace else. That's another that's a great book to read to start as Batgirl. Yeah, I would definitely recommend the Gail Simone Batgirl book.
Because in that continuity, didn't the Killing Joke still happen, but she comes back from that paralysis. Is that how it is?
That's my understanding. Yeah.
Because
And-
again, the continuity is so fuzzy with certain books. Like there's Green Lantern, New 52, that Jeff Johns just kept going with his story. And even in Court of Owls, it was like everything else had happened before that. But there's some books like Superman. Superman's a totally different character.
Yeah.
With a totally different history. So some depended on each title. Some titles leaned back into that history and some just rejected it totally.
Yeah. In the Gail Simone book, Barbara's just getting to the point where she can walk on her own, and she wants to get back to crime fighting. She's worried about that she's not only out of shape, but that she's forgotten a lot of her moves, and that she doesn't know if muscle memory is going to come back with a lot of her fighting technique. And so it is positioned as her being healed from being put in the wheelchair, which I know some people were upset just because they liked the Oracle character. I'm somebody that I liked the Oracle character too, but I like Barbara Gordon walking around and being Batgirl. So I'm happy either way. It's fine with me.
And you weren't a big Killing Joke fan either, so it's probably nice that you kind of can move on from that a little bit.
You know, I was when I first read it back when it first came out, and this is just me, but I feel like it didn't age well. It's parts of it felt really a lot. Parts of it really felt wrong to me. Like, I mean, obviously what Joker did was wrong, but I mean, what was going on in the writers and editors' minds and stuff regarding Barbara at the time. And it just, reading the book again and again, it just has not aged well for me.
If she had maybe had more agency and a more of a part of the story besides being a plot point, it would have been better. She was just there to get shot in the stomach, basically, and to be paralyzed. She had no other part in that story, though, besides that. So I can appreciate how they had that extra 30 minutes at the beginning of the Killing Joke movie. I know it's really controversial and people hate it. I didn't enjoy it either. But I like they try to give Barbara actually a story in that book and in that movie. Because the book, she has no story besides being shot. So if it had been a little bit longer and given her something to do, it might have been a little bit better. But I totally get what you mean. She's kind of just a plot point that moves the story forward.
Yeah, and I didn't really see it that way when I first read it, but it became more and more apparent to me the more I read it. I don't know, just the whole thing just made me feel kind of dirty and icky, and I don't know, maybe he wanted you to feel that way, but it made me not want to read the story anymore, and it made, looking back at it now, Alan Moore's comics, I don't know that a lot of them age well, because when they undergo scrutiny, I don't know that a lot of them stand up to maybe where we've moved to. Well, I don't know. His use of rape is just too willy-nilly. I don't like that as a plot device. I never have, and it seems like it's all over the place all of a sudden in all of his books. So I'm not suggesting cancel Alan Moore or anything. I'm just saying that Killing Joke didn't age well for me, just because it didn't. Maybe I've changed and the book has stayed the same, and my feelings are different now.
Well, I think we've talked about this a lot, about how do we interact with books from different eras that maybe have different values than we have at this point. And I think some people want to say we need to get rid of all those things. Don't read it. Just get it out of your collection. I view it as like we can still look back on these things and enjoy them for what they are and say, well, there's some things about it that I still don't like or still don't enjoy. But I don't think just totally getting rid of it's the answer.
Oh no, and
I still have the Killing Joke on my shelf. I still like parts of it. It's a big part of Batman's life, so it's a part of my collection. So I think like there's certain movies that you watch, oh, that didn't age well, but like there's no way Airplane would have been made today. But I still love that movie. It's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
We can still enjoy these things for what they are and from the era from which they came, even though we don't agree with everything that was done in it.
Yeah, I would never suggest somebody take it out of their collection, and I would never take it out of mine either. And first of all, if anybody tried to take Airplane out of my collection, I would take a hammer and chase them around my house. I love that movie.
Surely you can't be serious.
The front of the plane? What is it? No cockpit up there.
The hospital, what is it?
What is it?
The hospital, what is it? It's a big building with windows and patients. We don't have time for that right now. But yeah, I'll have to say that there's nuances to this issue. And there's two extremes, and I'm in the middle here.
Me too.
I think join us in the middle here, please.
Yeah.
Join us in the balancing act, which is most of life, by the way. Life isn't usually two extremes.
I definitely don't want to tell anybody what to like. I want to tell them what I like and what they might like, but I would never put myself in a place of saying, if this is in your collection, you're a bad person, or it shouldn't be in your collection. I never want to be that guy. I know you don't want to be that guy. I never want to come across as taking any kind of stance that's anti anything. I just want good comics. And some of Alan Moore's stuff just hits the wrong buttons on me now. I still own them. I'm still going to read them. But they're not really, they're not as impactful on me anymore, except for Top 10 and Promethea, which are awesome.
And Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow.
Yes.
That's is number one for you.
That is probably I think it's easily in my top. Well, I know it's in my top 17 books, but I think it's in the original top
17. Went from top 10 to top 11 to top 12 to top 17. Did Batman Earth 1 join your top 17? That's like your favorite Batman book ever now, right?
Yeah, I need to update that. I don't know that I officially updated that because it should be written down, Batman Earth 1.
You obviously haven't read enough Batman, Jess.
That is a reference to like my only mean comment. I've only got a couple of mean comments. Omar is way ahead of me on mean comments. And it was after we did the Earth 1 series that Taylor and I did. And I said that Batman Earth 1 was my favorite Batman book ever. And some dope said in the comments, if Batman Earth 1 is your favorite Batman, you haven't read enough Batman. Dude, I have read all of the Batman ever since it's been published. So you can't tell me I haven't read enough Batman. I read it all. Oh yeah,
also,
Strong is also great too.
Going off of Jess's comment there, if I spend a lot of time telling you how much I love a book, don't personally address me in the comments by the wrong name and then tell me why that book is garbage. Okay, you can express your opinion. No need to address me personally and tell me why the book I love is terrible. There's no reason for that. There's no reason. We're not here to crap on what you like, and we don't want you to crap on what we like. We all just want to share our opinions and shake hands and be okay.
And his name is Taylor, not Tyler.
Right. And if that certain someone writes me a comment for this video, I am not going to read it, so don't even waste your time.
I will rip him apart.
So what were we talking about? We're talking
about
Batgirl. We got off.
Yeah, Batgirl 15 minutes ago. And Johnny Air Windows has a good suggestion too about the Birds of Prey. If you want to check out Babs' Oracle when she's paralyzed, pre the Batgirl returns Omni, check out Gail Simone's Birds of Prey. I 100% agree with Johnny Air Windows. That is great. I love Gail Simone's Birds of Prey. Gail Simone totally gets the characters in the Birds of Prey, and she gets Batgirl. She knows what she's doing, writing those books. And Larry actually brings up a good point. One book you won't see me talk about in Rebirth. I don't know what this is part of. Identity Crisis. You won't see Deathstroke on my favorite Rebirth books. And a lot of people feel it's the best Deathstroke ever written. And I think it's because I read it really soon after I read Christopher Priest's Black Panther, and Christopher Priest also writes Deathstroke, and he tells them both in the same manner with a lot of flashbacks. That's how the story's told. And I don't care for that kind of storytelling. And Christopher Priest does it a lot, where he will tell his story in flashbacks. And that's a lot of his stories. And so I didn't care for Deathstroke Rebirth, which is why, and I don't think you even read it, did you?
I'm just not a big Deathstroke fan.
Yeah. I questioned the New 52 omnibus about him. I thought that was a ponderous decision.
Like, that was that and the Red Hood and the Outlaws omnibus that everybody was like, why? Nobody was asking for these books to be printed in this format.
Right.
There are dozens of us, said no one. There are 0 of you.
Yeah. And so if you dug it, good. As I always say, good for you. I'm glad you have it. Cherish it. Read it. It wasn't for me. That's why I won't be showing any Deathstroke. And I read it, but it's not in my collection anymore, which is why I almost forgot it, because I ended up giving it away because I just didn't dig the story.
I think we also both agree that we haven't found a good Black Panther book that we've enjoyed, which is a bummer because I love the movie. I just can't. I read the Ta-Nehisi Coates run, and it was the closest I've ever come to almost falling asleep while reading a book. It wasn't.
Oh, you did read it?
Yeah, I had the first hardcover, and I read it, and I gave it away and sold it because I did not enjoy it, and I almost fell asleep while reading it, and that's a sign of a book I don't want to read. And if you like it, I know a lot of people like it. So again, I'm not trying to crap on it. It just wasn't for me. And I just haven't been able to. I do like him in the New Avengers by Jonathan Hickman, even though it's not a Black Panther title. He features prominently in that book.
Yeah. The only Black Panther book was a thin trade that was really well written was the Secret Invasion one.
Oh, by Jason Aaron.
That was great. That had me guessing from the beginning and had a great ending, and I really loved it. But boy, I was not happy with any of the other Black Panther books. He just was not an interesting character to me, and I know he has the potential to be interesting.
Yeah, because the movie proved that.
Yeah. Oh, hang on a sec. Big announcement. Sorry we stepped away. Omar now owns a new car. We're going to go enjoy the ride home. Have fun, guys. Have fun on your ride. Don't let Omar drive or you'll get stopped by the cops.
And Melanie, tell Omar to tell David. No, I'm just joking.
So wait, what were we?
I don't know what we were on about.
Oh, Paul Baker asked.
Oh, right.
I did, yeah, and I didn't enjoy that.
When did you read that? Because you weren't a big Marvel fan until recently. Did you read that back in the day or recently?
I read that back in the day.
Okay, so as a kid, you were like, nah, not for me.
Yeah, he had some interesting appearances in the early Fantastic Four books, but then when he was written, I don't know. I just didn't enjoy the Silver Age Black Panther. I just haven't found a story that connects with me. And when I think of Wakanda, as a hidden city of high technology and with their main export being this incredibly rare earth element, vibranium, and it just sounds awesome, and I just haven't found anything that makes the character interesting to me.
Right. I agree. It's unfortunate. I know a lot of people have stuff they like. That's great. I haven't found one for me yet.
Yeah. Oh, Kenny, thank you.
That is a cool shirt.
Thank you. I got it from Graffiti Designs, where I am finding with multiple wearings that these things shrink.
As cool as your shirts are, Jess, I don't think you can beat Bat Sam in the superhero clothing department.
No one in the world has as cool a closet as Bat Sam. Everything Bat Sam wears makes me jealous. From his pajamas to his like sun hat, they've all got cartoon characters on them, and they're all so awesome.
My wife does a great job dressing him up.
Yeah, she picked out really good clothes.
You were jealous of his recent Spider-Man pajamas. He has a Miles Morales pair and a Peter Parker pair.
Oh,
the Peter Parker pair, pajama bottoms or shorts. They're awesome.
Oh. And what I'm mad at is they don't make them in an adult size, because I would totally wear those to bed.
I told Jess I think we would look disturbing in them. So I don't know if they were made for us, made for adults.
Whoops. Our 3-aper. I've read Ice Cream Man, and it's awesome.
I'm waiting for the inevitable hardcovers.
They are coming, because I have
my patience for Someone is Killing the Children and Once and Future paid off because they announced hardcovers from Boom. I knew that was going to happen, so I waited. Yes. I am really not buying many thin trades anymore.
No, I don't blame you.
Unless they're like older stuff I'm trying to collect that I know they're not going to make omnis or hardcovers of. So where were we? What was the last book we even talked about? Was it Harley Quinn? We don't know his name. I guess I'll go to my next one that's Superman related. And I have the stupid, outdated omnibus. Super Sons. I am not going to double dip on the new one, though. I'm just not going to. I'll just buy. I think it's 2 trades, right, Jess, that are in addition?
Yeah,
I'm just going to buy those. Because here's the thing. Nobody's going to want to buy this. So I'm going to be stuck with this. Because they have the new printing with the extra issues. But Jess and I always talk about, when we read comics, there are some comics that have serious issues. They have serious messages that we want to read. Sometimes you just want to have fun. And this book is fun. This is one of the most fun books you'll read from the Rebirth line. Would you agree, Jess?
100%.
And it has some of the best art from this era. It has Patrick Gleason as Jorge Jimenez. It's great. It's just a great book of Damian Wayne and Jonathan Kent being forced by their dads to hang out and to be partners, not in crime, but in their war against crime. And it's awesome because obviously Damian is a little snot-nosed punk who knows everything. And Jonathan Kent's just a boy who wants to do the right thing. And Damian's kind of like the demon on the shoulder, and Jonathan Kent is the angel on the shoulder. And I just love both of their dynamics. It's a great read that everyone should get. And I'm pretty sure the new omnibus is still in print. Would you think it is, Jess?
I did. Yeah, I checked. I put it in the descriptions. These are the 2 books that come with it. And Paul Baker, it's a long show. Hang on. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about still. Don't start jamming us up about stuff that we haven't talked about when we're not done yet.
So this omnibus contains Super Sons 1 through 16, Super Sons Annual #1, Super Sons and Dynamut #1, Superman 10 and 11 and 37 to 38, Teen Titans 15, and a short story from DC Rebirth Holiday Special #1. So what are those issues that you have in those trades, Jess, that are in the new omnibus?
1 through 12 of the new.
The Adventures. Is that what it is? The Adventures of the Super Sons?
Adventures of the Super Sons, yeah.
Okay, I definitely need to pick those up soon because I want to read those.
And don't anybody turn your nose up at the Dynamut crossover, because that's fun. Also, when I went to get a link for it, I noticed on Amazon it was almost half off. It was like 50% off on Amazon. The expanded version of Super Sons. That link is in the description of our video if you want to check it out. It's 50% off, almost, maybe it's 49% off, but that's a serious savings. So
And
check it out.
for those of you with young kids, this is a good book to read with your kids. Maybe not give them your omnibus, but maybe read it digitally with them. I know I'm looking forward to reading this with Bat Sam someday. This is a great book, not just for adults, but for kids. Because you know what? Comics should also be for kids, not just for sweaty men in their basements.
I am in my basement, but I am not sweaty.
Well, that's good.
Okay, let me put this back. This is, yeah, that really bothered me that they put that new book out.
Jess isn't capable of being happy for others, as seen with Usagi Yojimbo, as seen with the Usagi Yojimbo reprint. Jess is not happy for those of you who are getting it. He's mad at those of you who got it. I remember saying to Jess, I'm like, well, just please feel good for the people who are getting it. He's like, no, I hate them.
To be fair, that's what I say about everybody. But yeah,
that's true. That is true. You just hate me entirely less than most people.
I don't know why I have volume 4 of this, because I meant to grab volume 1. I got volume 1 and 4. This is New Superman of China.
There you go, Paul Baker.
First, there you go. Actually, first it's called New Superman, and then it becomes New Superman and the Justice League of China. This was book 4, up to issue 24. This is as far as I've gone. I don't know if there's more. But it starts out, first of all, it's by Gene Yang. He's great. He wrote Dragon Hoops and American Born Chinese and Superman Fights the Klan. So he knows how to write, obviously. But this was really, really good about the government in China wanting their own Superman. And he... it's about his growth pains becoming Superman, and his name is Kong Keenan, lives in Shanghai with his auto mechanic, blah, 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 blah. Suddenly, the Ministry of Self-Reliance gives all these guys these powers, and you've got the art is fantastic, and it's really interesting that Gene Yang would write. Well, he's Chinese, so he knows of what he writes. Now, how much he knows about the Chinese government, I don't know, but it sounds right that Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, that's who is now in the Justice League of China. Once these Chinese superheroes served the government's Ministry of Self-Reliance, but now they've struck out on their own to fight for freedom. They're the greatest heroes in the nation. They are the Justice League of China. And it is just fun, interesting action. It's from a different viewpoint. What I like about Gene Yang's writing is that you don't have to be Chinese to enjoy it. I think it helps if you're not, because this gives you a completely different viewpoint on what it would be like if superheroes existed in China. And it's such a fresh take on the superhero tropes and everything, putting it into different cultural references and stuff makes this a really, really interesting and fun book. I loved how the cultural differences, how very, very different they were, that he wrote about, and yet it was still very relatable. And I highly recommend everybody to get this, and don't be turned off by DC's dumb black and white spine decision.
Time to kick that corpse, guys.
I am totally kicking the corpse, because they did it with Batman too, on Batman 5 or
4 and 5.
4 and 5.
Yeah, I don't think number 6 is coming, Jess. I'm losing hope.
I am starting to feel the same way.
I'm very upset because it's literally one freaking deluxe left. Just do it.
Yeah.
So because we got that huge thing of solicits. What was that, 2 weeks ago on the group, on the Facebook group we saw from Penguin Random House? Like, bunch of solicits for like Justice League Dark Omnibus, things like that.
Yeah.
All the way to the end of this year, and that was not on there because Volume 5 came out last summer. So I'm starting to lose hope that they're going to do a Volume 6. That's just ridiculous. 5 deluxes, there's 1 to go, and you just give up and go home.
Because I think, didn't 5 come out last summer?
Yeah, that's what I just said. It came out last July, I think. So it's been almost a year, and there's
Almost
no
a year.
solicits. Yeah.
And we haven't reviewed anything since, I feel like, since Batman 3 or 4. Because
we stopped with 4, I think. Because we were waiting for the last deluxe to come out, which hasn't come out. And that goes back to a book I probably would have put in my top 5 if the deluxes weren't discontinued as The Flash by Joshua Williamson, because I was loving it. And they discontinued it, and I got so annoyed. I didn't keep up with all the trades and all the hardcovers after that, the standard size hardcovers. I just there's so many to collect now. It's those 3 deluxes, and then how many other books are there, Jess? I think you kept up with them. At least 5 or 6.
It goes up to 12, yeah. It goes up to at least volume 12.
I feel bad because I like Joshua Williamson as a writer. It's nothing against him. It's just against DC's collected editions' terrible decisions.
I am totally kicking the dead horse here. These came out, and these Flash hardcovers, how many were there? There were 3. And these things are like Harley and Nightwing. They're beautiful, and it's kind of an easy decision when you have really good material in a beautiful oversized hardcover to buy it. This is what the comic fan wants. Whether you're an omnibus fan or a paperback fan, I think almost everybody can agree that oversized hardcovers are beautiful if they're done right. And it is the dumbest thing to go from an oversized hardcover and drop right down to paperbacks. It's disheartening. It's not as fun a reading experience. Joshua Williamson is very talented. He writes a very good Flash, and I have all the volumes. But I will say that I sure would have liked to have seen them all in deluxe.
I would have got them all.
It would have been much more fun.
The reason can't be money because literally everyone on our Facebook group, like 5,000 people, were buying these. It seemed like everyone was buying them. And so I know it's a small sliver of the comic collected community, but it's a decent chunk, kind of showing you what people are buying. I know people were buying these.
Yeah.
It can't be they weren't making money on it. I have no idea why they would cancel them.
It's so frustrating. Yeah, it is frustrating. And so I've worked in Superwoman, New Superman, and The Flash as 3 of my books in the top 10. I think we picked 10 books.
Well, yeah, we combined them because we both have a lot of similar choices. Like
the 5 you sent me were the 5 I would have said are in my top 5. So
right, so I think we wanted to add some extra flavor to it as well. So it wasn't just me and you going, yeah, I like it too. We can talk about some other books too. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to beat that dead corpse too much, but it's just so disappointing to have these books that aren't completed. I'm definitely getting rid of that Green Arrow, stupid blue spine. I'm definitely getting rid of that because that's not going to be finished. And it just looks bad on my shelf. So there's only a couple series that I have completed. I have Batman by Tom King, Detective Comics, The Flash isn't completed, Green Arrow isn't completed, Superman and Action Comics are completed, and Wonder Woman is completed. So there's a couple, like Harley Quinn's completed, but there's several others that aren't.
And in looking on Amazon to find links for these things, I could not find anywhere Batman Volume 5.
Really? It's out of print.
I think it might be. I didn't have a lot of time before the show, but it didn't even show hardcover as an option. So sometimes I feel like I don't search right on Amazon, even though I type in Batman Deluxe Edition hardcover number 5. It just showed the Kindle edition, and I said, well, that can't be right. And then I started searching everywhere. I even went on eBay, and I just was not finding it. So
wow.
I'm not sure what's going on with that and with Wonder Woman 1 deluxe hardcover. I couldn't find that either.
Well, since you're talking about that, that's one of my top 5.
Nice.
By Greg Rucka. Greg Rucka is famous for saying he didn't really get to finish his first Wonder Woman run the way he wanted to. If you read those thick trades they have that are out, it just kind of ends in a strange way. It just kind of ends. There's not really like a satisfying conclusion. And you can see some of those plot threads being picked up in this book. Did you notice that, Jess? Like some certain characters and some certain corporations. You could tell he was trying to say, hey, here's what I wanted to do. And I love the Liam Sharp arc in this book, but the best part of this first hardcover especially is the Nicola Scott art.
Oh, boy.
I think she is my favorite Wonder Woman artist of all time. She is fantastic. And I just love that year one Wonder Woman story in particular.
Yeah.
Is there a story you enjoyed out of the two more?
No, I just enjoy Nicola Scott. I love her on Greg Rucka's Black Magic. I just think her art is impeccable.
Just look at this.
I just loved the whole run.
Spread. It's fantastic.
Yeah. She's brilliant.
So
brilliant.
You're saying this is really hard to find. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if I want to say that yet. I had trouble finding it on Amazon. And usually I don't have trouble finding things on Amazon. Even if it's out of print, it may be in that weird gray zone where it's out of print and copies haven't surfaced yet from third-party sellers, because there wasn't even a place on Wonder Woman 1 for anything but the Kindle edition. And so I was wondering if, was I looking wrong, or is it in that zone where third-party sellers haven't started selling it yet? Because there wasn't a place for paperbacks or hardcovers. So I must have been, it must have been me, not you. It was me. So I don't know.
Well, DC's not reprinting these or making more of them, so it makes sense that they might be hard to find. They abandoned them totally. They orphaned them. So I'm not surprised that some of them are hard to find. So yeah, I love that one because it's really self-contained. It's only 2 hardcovers, if you can find them, that is. And it's probably I would say 4 trades. And it goes back and forth each issue between different storylines.
Which I thought was cool.
Right. I can't imagine that working that well as you're reading it monthly, because it wouldn't just be trying to remember month to month. They try to remember every other month.
Right.
No, I guess it was every other week, because Rebirth, we didn't talk about this. It was shipping twice a month for books,
which had to have been very hard, I would think.
So I guess it was kind of back to the monthly grind for Wonder Woman of trying to remember month to month what happens, because it was every other week.
Here's a good question that I don't know. I think the answer is no. I think it took a dip in quality. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it wasn't Greg Rucka, so
yeah,
I'm not sure who wrote it.
I think I stopped after Rucka.
I can't comment on it, but I just know that it ends satisfyingly with hardcover 2, so you don't have to read on. But maybe I can't speak to the quality of it. I haven't heard a lot of good things about it, or really I haven't heard anything about it actually.
Yeah.
Oh, was it James Robinson who took over after Rucka?
I like his writing. Why don't I have? Well, first of all, it's not over here in the deluxe section, so I don't know if I collected it now that I think about it, because it's not down there in the trades either.
Interesting.
So it may be that I heard so many mixed things about it that I decided not to collect it. Oh, G. Willow Wilson was after Rucka.
No, I think someone asked if they were. I'm pretty sure it's James Robinson, then G. Willow Wilson. Maybe. Because I know that hardcover is not by G. Willow Wilson, because she has those standard size hardcovers now.
Wonder Woman does?
Yeah. I think you have them.
I do?
You do have those. I know you have those.
Of Wonder Woman?
I'm pretty confident you have those.
By G. Willow Wilson?
I'm pretty sure you have them.
I love it when this happens. Okay.
It's like I always say, Jess is like, what's his name from Raiders of the Lost Ark? He gets lost in his own museum. Marcus. You're like Marcus from Raiders of the Lost Ark in Last Crusade.
If I have it, do you know where it is? Wait a minute, I have a whole Wonder Woman shelf.
Maybe it's in your annex.
No, I have a whole Wonder Woman shelf.
I'm pretty confident you have them. I'd be surprised if you didn't. I remember you showing them off in a hall or something. Any questions I can answer as Jess goes to see if he has these books? Ooh, hot take from Hayden. I'm glad they abandoned the Harley Deluxes, at least because they're not worth it beyond where they stopped.
Well, he's 100% right about that.
The new run is a chef's kiss, so
I know. That's why I can't wait
to find it, Jess?
No.
I could have sworn you showed them off. I think I remember you showing them off in a stimulus hall.
Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think I've tuned into her since Rucka's run.
You also told me you didn't know what the dregs was, and then I found your video where you picked it up.
I give you that one. That one I totally.
I'll go back to your most recent haul and scroll through it because I thought I remember seeing it in there.
Well, there's only so many places I could put Wonder Woman.
It must be with the Stumptown hardcovers.
No, anything recently DC is out here so I can read it. And I just don't think I've read any Wonder Woman since Rucka.
Jess, was there anything from not New 52, from Rebirth in particular that didn't strike your fancy at all, that you just didn't enjoy on any level? That was like a total swing and a miss?
From Rebirth. Well, yeah, I didn't like Deathstroke.
Oh, so you actually did read it. I thought you just didn't give it a chance.
No, I read a bunch of it. Yeah. I read a bunch of it and I didn't like it. I
don't think you were a fan of Suicide Squad, right?
And I was definitely not a fan of Justice League.
Or the JLA that Omar made you buy?
The Justice League, there were 2 Justice League titles, and he had me buy one of them. And as soon as I got it, I thought, wait a minute, I hate Justice League. That was early on when he first joined the show.
That was his first recommendation. He was messing with you, right? Sounds like Omar.
Justice League wasn't good. Suicide I bought because I have to, because it has Harley in it, but it's not good. But Justice League versus Suicide Squad, the deluxe, is actually very good. That was a very well-written book. That's
by Joshua Williamson, so that's probably why.
Okay. I have that right here. And then it's actually really good. I highly recommend this book. Josh Williamson, and and Tim Seeley. Who else is it? Oh, the art is really nice.
Yeah, Jess and I were saying on our New 52 episode 2 weeks ago that there really hasn't been a great Suicide Squad run since Ostrander.
No.
There really hasn't. Yeah, actually, I have heard Tom Taylor's run is really good, and that comes out soon in a standard size hardcover. So I do want to check that out because Tom Taylor has never let me or Jess down.
No. Josh Williamson, Tim Seeley, Rob Williams, and Cy Spurrier.
Ooh.
Interesting. I remember reading this. It was a long time ago, so I'm not pulling a lot of it up now in my memory, but I remember really liking it a lot. And I thought it was funny because Justice League blew and Suicide Squad blew, but this was good. No,
That's so sad. It's like Justice League should be one of the best books of the line.
100%.
Not one of the worst books.
It was awful. But I feel like there were 2 Justice League titles.
I think was it Justice League and then JLA or Justice League of America or something, or
it could be, but I remember they were both awful.
Why was Brian Hitch the writer of Justice League? Of all the writers you could pick, why would you pick Brian Hitch?
For one of your
He's a great artist.
Titles.
He's a great artist, but not a good writer.
No.
As Jess always says, as a writer, he's a great artist.
Yeah. Christopher, yeah, that's different though. That I don't think that was part of Rebirth.
I'm pretty sure that has its own hardcover too, right? But it's not a Rebirth hardcover.
Yeah,
because Jess and I both have the Justice League by Snyder hardcovers, but that's not Rebirth. That's DC Universe.
Same with Christopher Priest. It was good. You're right, Larry Phoenix. It was good.
I think the only two runs that went from Rebirth to DC Universe, I could be wrong, are Batman by Tom King and The Flash by Joshua Williamson, because Batman went 85 issues and The Flash went 100 issues. So they kind of bled over from Rebirth into that new era. That's why the new stupid black spine deluxes of Batman don't have a Rebirth thing on them. They just have a stupid blue square at the top.
Right. So let's see. I will recommend next the first 4 books of Red Hood and the Outlaws. Do not get Red Hood Outlaw or anything without the Outlaws. The first 4 books have Artemis and Bizarro as the Outlaws, and they are great. For me to like a Red Hood book is pretty close to miraculous. But Artemis and Bizarro, as weird as that sounds, with Red Hood is amazing. It is super fun. I love this book. I highly recommend this without hesitation to anyone. The first 4 trades by Scott Lobdell, who wrote the egregious Red Hood New 52 run, must know his way around Bizarro and Artemis, because this is a blast to read. I am happy to reread this anytime. I might reread this week. It is so good. I'm not a big fan of Red Hood. I never have been a fan of him in any incarnation, from Robin to Red Hood or anything in between. But I love this book. But don't go past the 4th trade paperback. You will regret it. I bought it, and I regret it. It immediately went to the donation.
Is it a different team? Is it Scott Lobdell, or is it?
Yeah.
Wait, so he had the terrible New 52 run. He had 3 good trades, and then it dipped totally.
He had 4 good trades,
okay.
And the Outlaws left, and it went back to awful.
Wow.
But this was I had so much fun reading Red Hood and the Outlaws. At one point, it was my favorite Rebirth book. These first 4 trades. Wow. Actually, I am going to keep these out because it's only 4 of them. And Bizarro is just great, and so is Artemis. She really does a fantastic job in this book of just coming. He does a good job of bringing Artemis out into the main and giving her own space to become the second Amazonian in the public eye. And she's such a different Amazonian than Diana is, obviously. And she's so great. Oh, this book, I love this book.
And Paul Baker has a funny comment, Jess, explaining maybe why those trades are actually good.
This one?
Yeah.
Funny story. It turns out that the only reason the first chunk of Red Hood Rebirth was so good was because editorial were interfering so much with Lobdell's scripts at that time. Really? Editorial was interfering back then? Usually that's not a good sign.
I guess the scripts weren't good, weren't up to snuff, and they were interfering with them. That's what it sounds like from his comment.
Okay, well, however it happened, these are great stories.
The main reason I want to check that out is because Bizarro is a part of the team.
Oh, he's so great.
I said this last time. I want a Bizarro and Bizarro Boy book. with the Damian Wayne with the mustache. I want that title by Patrick Gleason and Tomasi. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, wait, where was that?
And it was in Superman.
Which I forget what the context was again.
Yeah, I can't remember. We read that
from the Metal Universe, or
no. It was from Bizarro. It was from Bizarro World.
Oh, Bizarro World. That's right. And Damian had a mustache. That was so great.
It was so great. But are you gonna get that McFarlane Bizarro figure that they announced?
I don't know that I've looked at it real close.
Me and Tyler were talking about this. McFarlane takes terrible pictures of their figures, and they don't look that great. And then you see them in store, or you see them people playing with them, and they're so much better.
Oh, really?
Like the Bizarro figure of their picture looks terrible. It looks like a figure I would never want. But then I saw Todd McFarlane showing off in a video. I'm like, that looks great. Their toy photographer just isn't very good. I don't know. Their pictures are terrible. Ooh, Hayden sent Taylor photographic evidence of Jess with those G. Wilson books on his Minister Instagram. I gotta find this.
Me too. Where are they? What?
I knew you had them in your most recent. Ooh, here we go.
Most recent haul?
Evidence.
Let's.
You can't
Okay.
really see. You can't really
Let's
see, but you have the book. You can kind of see it.
Tilt it a little bit. Is this supposed to be of me?
Yeah, that's you.
And I'm holding the books up?
Let me see if I can get the picture on screen. Hold on.
All right. Okay, Hayden, you jerk. Well, where would I put them? Any new books that I want to read, I don't file them away. Like my Supergirl Rebirth is upstairs with my other Supergirl books. But where the hell would I put the Wonder Woman?
I don't know, Jess. You do mysterious things with your books sometimes. They go to the cornfield.
I wished them into the cornfield?
Yeah.
What in the world?
This is like last night with our show where you guys for 15 minutes didn't talk. You were just ordering stuff so before they went out of stock. Half the show was just you guys trying to order stuff.
I did not order anything because it was too expensive.
Did you get those Did you get the Dr. Afra toys?
I did not. No, it's just $150. I'm not spending that.
Oh, it looked like you were on a mission.
I was to try and, if it was like $50 or something, then I was going to try and snipe it from Tyler, but I backed out as soon as I saw it was $159.
Dawn says, love is like a cornfield.
Just definitely let us know if those Wilson Wonder Woman books are good. I've been on the fence about them for a while.
I'm trying to send them to my computer right now. It's not going too well.
Okay. I have DC shelves and I have Marvel shelves, and I just can't. This is a puzzler.
Maybe you stacked it weird on the Kalax.
This is always the best part of the show. Well, when I can't find my books, that is crazy.
It's like how all the funniest Omnibus moments involve you doing something unfortunate.
Yeah, breaking something, frying my computer. Because my attitude is always whatever.
All right. Well, whenever I get that picture sent to me, I'll make sure to pop it up. But let me talk about. I can talk about my next choice.
Okay.
So this is a run that started out great. The next two volumes were good, and the final one was also really good, and that is Detective Comics by James Tinian. The first volume is by far the best, in my opinion. I love the team dynamics of Batwoman, of Spoiler, of Tim Drake, Red Robin, of Clayface. That was the best addition to the team. I love that storyline. That's kind of like having Bizarro on the Red Hood and the Outlaws team, I would say. But this is a great story. It's not. I mean, Batman's obviously in it. He's a big part of it, but it's more of a team family story than anything else.
The best Batwoman book in a long time.
It's probably the best Batwoman book since the Rucka original story.
I totally agree with that.
And it's kind of her coming to grips with a leadership position where she doesn't think she's able to lead this team. And then Batman's like, no, you can do it. But then she's like, I have to do it my way, Bruce. I'm not going to do it the way that you want me to do it. So it's kind of Batwoman kind of stepping out of his shadow and being her own woman and leading the team the way that she wants to lead them, which is as a military marine operator. And so I think you said that you talked to Joshua Williamson. You talked to James Tinian in person.
Yeah.
And he said this is pretty much like his version of the X-Men, but with the Bat family.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it is.
And he said that the editorial let him do whatever he wanted, and that's why he was really happy with it. It was his X-Men, and he got to do what he wanted with them.
To be honest, this is the best that it is ever going to be with this run. The second and third hardcovers are fine, but they're just not really up to snuff compared to this first volume. But it ends very strongly with the final hardcover.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite Batman books.
And that omnibus is out, so that's a good book to get right now.
Yeah.
Before it sells out.
Okay, I'm going to start, while we talk, I'm going to start looking through the double-stacked Kalax stuff. There's no reason why I would stick brand new books back there.
It's a mystery.
Jiminy crickets.
I knew that I saw them.
That's amazing. And it's amazing that Hayden found those.
He probably just scrolled through your most recent haul. I think it was part of your third stimulus haul.
So the most recent haul?
I think. Maybe it was your second one. I tried to send it to my email. It's not letting me. I want to airdrop it to my computer, but it's not letting me for some reason. And it's taking forever to send to my email.
I don't. I don't know. I'm gonna wonder if I don't know. Let's see. We sort of talked about this, but we didn't really finish it. This was good. This was really good. Green Arrow.
I gave up because of that hardcover volume 1 was canceled with the rest of them. So after volume 1,
I only have volumes 1 through 4, so I don't know how far it went. I moved on and found other books. If there are more, I'd like to finish reading it. But these first 4 with him, sort of coming back from the dead and reuniting with everybody, I thought it was really well done. Benjamin Percy has a good good eye for the character and the surrounding characters. So I felt this was really well done, and I really enjoyed Green Arrow. I burned right through it when it first came out. Because of the choices he had to make, he ended up without a fortune and without anything, because he decided to sacrifice that to save people. And the first 4 books are just really good. I like Benjamin Percy a lot. I like the stories I've read by him in Dawn of X, whatever the books are he's writing. He's a really good writer.
He's writing Wolverine too, the main title.
I'm sorry?
He's writing Wolverine.
Okay.
And according to Hayden, these books, the Wonder Woman G. Willow Wilson books, show up in the second stimulus haul with 16 minutes and 10 seconds in the video.
What was the date?
I don't know. Just look up Omnidog second stimulus and you'll probably find it. So, Jess, you're wearing the flamingo shirt. So there you go.
Oh, so it was summer. Okay.
So there's somewhere, Jess.
Yeah, it's summer, and I'm wearing the flamingo shirt. All right.
Jess is going to be doing a Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego with those books after the show's over. That's when you know you have a lot of books. When you can lose sight of them like that, Jess.
Well, what's really weird is that, I understand if they're older books that I've read, those are what I've been double stacking in the Kalax. Those are in the back with the newer books in front. But I don't know why I would stick new books back there if they're back there. I'm not going to do this the whole show, except that I am.
Hayden says, I sent Jess the evidence too, just in case he tries to deny it.
No, I'm not bothering to deny it. I'm the first one to admit that I don't have control over anything in my life.
Well, that's not true.
Oh, you think I have some control in my life?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I know you stopped buying variants. There you go. Right?
Oh, the spending. Yeah, I spend a lot less. That's true.
So there you go.
True. Okay. I feel better. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have another book you want to talk about, Jess?
Well, I liked Green Lanterns because I liked Jessica and Simon in it. I thought it was Sam Humphries I run hot and cold with. because he did that really wretched Harley Quinn. I thought these guys were really well done as the newbies on Earth, and I just really enjoyed them. Anytime you get Red Lanterns in there. Oh yeah, Red Lanterns was New 52. Damn it.
You talked about that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right. Anytime you get Red Lanterns in there for a fight, it's great. I also liked Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. That was by Venditti, and he's an excellent writer. So as far as Green Lantern goes, I feel like they continue to make really solid Green Lantern books from New 52, from before New 52 through New 52 and into Rebirth. I think they've done a really good job.
Yeah, so my number one is probably Jess's number one, and that is Batman by Tom King. Would that be your number one, Jess?
Yep, that book.
And I picked both of our favorite story arcs when they're at the fair with Lois and Clark. I think it's probably our favorite issue of the entire run. Would you agree?
The date?
Yeah, when they go on a date to the carnival.
Yeah.
I love this story. You don't see this kind of story in most modern superhero comics anymore.
No.
Because
so great.
Jess isn't into the endless punch-outs anymore. And I know we're probably going to get some hate in the comments how Tom King sucks, his Batman run sucks. Here's the thing. Tom King actually did something new. He actually brought fresh to the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just the same old thing. Batman did the same old things, fighting the same old people. There's a lot of fresh and original storylines in here. And there's some storylines that are home runs, and there's some that are just okay. But I enjoy almost all of these stories. I think the only story that Jess and I didn't like at all was the Matt Wagner issue, which was set before the KG Beast arc. I think that was the only story we didn't like. Every story has at least been good to okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like the heights of the War of Jokes and Riddles, I Am Bane, that Super Friends storyline. I just love how Tom King does new things with the characters and takes risks, because it's easy to get burned out in superhero books because it's the same thing over and over and over again. And it's books like this, and Jimmy Olsen by Matt Fraction that kind of like get that spark again for me of loving superhero comics.
Yeah.
Do you ever have like a run of like a boring stretch of superhero comics where you're just like, oh, why am I still reading this stuff, man? Like, it's just the same old stuff. And then you get, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. You get Batman by Tom King. You're like, okay, this is why I want to read this stuff. Because it can be amazing if it's done right.
I 100% agree with that.
And I'm hoping and praying that there's a 6th deluxe edition of this run. There's one deluxe left, DC. Don't mess us up with this one. Don't mess with us.
I think that if we're ever going to finish talking about Tom King's run, we're going to, and then whatever is going to happen with it, I think I'm going to have to read it digitally because I can't really wait anymore. I'm stuck on volume 4. I waited. I haven't read volume 5 yet because I was waiting for volume 6. So I'm going to have to go back and read volume 4 to catch up with 5, and then read 5, and then digitally read 6.
We'll see what happens. I don't have much hope, but
no, I don't have any hope anymore.
Do you think you might crumble and buy the hardcovers, like the smaller hardcovers?
Are there smaller hardcovers for?
Here's the thing, Jess. So after Volume 5 Deluxe, there's a trade paperback, and then there's 2 hardcovers to close it out, and then in those 2 hardcovers, they made a thick, standard size, complete collection of the final 2 arcs.
What?
Yeah, so you can buy the last arc in 2 standardized hardcovers or a thick, complete trade.
These guys drive me crazy.
They're idiots. I'm sorry. It's like the Batman by Tomasi Detective Comics hardcover, trade paperback. Next one's gonna be a hardcover. Like, what are you doing? Like, seriously. It's like Two Faces over there making decisions by flipping a coin. It makes no sense.
Well, all right, wait. There could be one other place Wonder Woman is. Wait a second. No,
Jess is gonna be spending. I know how Jess will be spending the rest of his evening after the show's over.
oh, you know it. No.
Okay, so that haul was last summer, Jess. So this has
Last summer.
This has been like 8 months, 9 months.
I haven't.
A lot has happened since then. A lot of books
Yeah.
have been purchased since then.
That's true, but I have. First of all, I have a Wonder Woman shelf where they should have gone, and I wouldn't have put them anywhere else because everything new stays out, so I have a chance to read it. I do take stuff that I've read and put it away in different places that I have, or reshelve it. But a brand new book like that, why isn't it like right here? It should be right here for me to be able to just come down here, look at it, and pull right out. That's just really weird.
You'll find it, hopefully. So I think we asked this question last time. I'm not sure if we answered it. Overall, do you think you like New 52 better or Rebirth? Or is it too hard of a comparison to make?
It's a fair question to ask, but I don't know. Let me think. I had equal points. No, I think I was more excited for. Well, I don't know. I got really excited about Rebirth also. But I got really excited about New 52. I know you and I are in the minority of liking Tom King so much, and I love Snyder's Batman. I'm not gonna say anything against that. I love his Batman, but I do like Tom King's Batman, and I love Tomasi's Superman, and I loved Rucka's Wonder Woman. I loved New Superman, Superwoman, Red Hood.
Rebirth's definitely a million times better in the Superman department. It's not even close.
Oh yeah, no.
Superman 52 was not anything to write home about. So definitely in the Superman department, I think Batman was strong in both of these eras.
Right.
For me personally.
Right.
I guess you have to go character by character to make that decision and kind of have like a checklist, which we're not going to do. So there's things we like about both. There's things we don't like about both. So
yeah.
And Capital asks, can you suggest any good Rebirth omnis? Well, some of these are omnis. We have the Batman Detective Comics omnibus by James Tinian. I don't have that omnibus, but I have the hardcovers, so I could definitely suggest getting it.
Yeah.
Definitely get the Superman by Tomasi and Gleason omnibus that comes out next month if you don't have the hardcovers, because Jess and I agree it's one of the best titles of Rebirth.
Yep.
Jess, Super Sons
expanded edition.
Yeah, don't get the white one, get the blue one. And I guess Harley Quinn, right, Jess? That third omnibus, that's the Rebirth stuff, right?
Yeah, and that's where you have to stop. Don't continue any further after that third omni. Rebirth, omnibus wise, is that it for omnis for Rebirth?
I guess so. I can't think of any other ones unless somebody can let us know in the chat. I can't think of one on the top of my head.
Is there a Rebirth omni books Jess has lost from Rebirth?
I'm sure there are.
Because you could make an omnibus out of the books that I seem to have misplaced. I'm not a good candidate to get omnis of these things because I always buy the trades or the hardcovers. So I can't think of deluxe. I can't think of omnis right now because of the. I have so many deluxes of everything. I think there's a. Oh no, that's a New 52 title.
Yeah, I think those are good ones that we mentioned. The Detective Comics by Tinian, Super Sons, Superman, and then Harley Quinn if you have the other two omnis from New 52. Silence.
Well, I'm looking at some of the comments. Those of you who like Deathstroke, by Priest. If the Omni comes out, there's an Omni for you.
I'm sure at one point down the line they'll probably do a series of Batman by Tom King Omnis and then not finish them. But Jess was proven wrong about Snyder New 52 Omnibus Volume 2, so you never know.
I thought for sure that was orphaned.
That would have been the weirdest decision ever from DC. Like one of the most popular Batman runs of all time. Like that's a given. Like just print it.
Yeah.
That's guaranteed money.
Josh Williamson hinted that his Flash might be getting some Omnis down the line. Let me tell you something about writers. They don't know when an Omni's coming out. Snyder promised me in 2017 or 18 that there was going to be a metal omnibus by the end of that year. Here we are in 2021, and we're still in the 7 different format phase for metal and death metal. So,
I don't know, because a couple days after he was on an interview saying that there was going to be a volume 2 to his Batman run, it did come out in solicits. So he did know about that. Because someone posted in the group saying, oh, Snyder says volume 2 is going to come out soon. And everyone in the comments is like, no, it's not. And then the solicits came out like a week later, and it was like, oh, okay, Scott Snyder, volume 2 for Batman. So you never know. Sometimes they don't really know. Whenever it comes to creator-owned stuff, they obviously know this kind of stuff because they're intimately involved. But when it comes to Marvel and DC, they don't really have a lot of voice in the matter, except for the examples I can think of are Jonathan Hickman and Donny Cates. The way I understand it with the Absolute Carnage omnibus, Donny Cates told them what to put in it.
Right.
And Jonathan Hickman always has a hand in designing his books, either a hardcover, omnibus, or trades. It always has that Hickmanian feel to it and design. There's a lot of charts in it.
Charts upon charts.
He's the Excel of comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that metal omnibus has to happen at some point, though. It has to. Like, come on.
I would love it.
Would you upgrade?
Oh, yeah. I would. Yeah, well, because, yes. I'm not even going to give you the reasons why. I just would.
I am looking forward to reading Death Metal whenever those various formats come out. I think the first one already came out, the deluxe.
Yeah.
And there's the other ones that are going to come out, the other 3 trades. Thanks, DC.
Thanks, DC. I have this run, Mark and Draco's Supergirl run. I have this and I haven't read it yet. That run was so good but so underrated. Okay, good. I haven't read that. Cosmic Supergirl. Yeah, like Don Paydamoff says, whoops. Cosmic Supergirl, I'm interested. I agree with that. That sounds really good. Okay. So the question remains where my Wonder Woman by G. Willow Wilson books are, and what is our topic in 2 weeks?
We are going to be doing a review/read of Jeff Johns' Superman work. So we're going to be reading 5 different books. We're going to be reading Secret Origin. We're going to be reading Last Sun, that new deluxe that came out. Brainiac, Up and Away by Jeff Johns and Kurt Busiek, and Superman and the Legion of Superheroes.
Right.
And so I've just finished that readathon, and Jess is about to embark upon that very soon.
I'm going to do that starting Monday.
All right, sounds good.
Oh, no, I got to read all that Spider-Man for Spring of Spider-Man for Omnicat. All right, I'll get it done. First, I'm going to go look for those Wonder Woman books.
You guys haven't had an Omnicat show, so we'll be back next week, right?
Yeah. Omnicat and I'll be back next week reading the first J. Michael Straczynski omnibus of Spidey.
Nice. Did you read any of the Titans Rebirth stuff?
I read the first one, which I think is actually a good book to read in the beginning, called Titans Hunt. But then I heard that the Titans book wasn't good.
Okay.
So I avoided it.
I think that was by Ben Percy as well.
It was?
I believe so. Maybe it was Teen Titans. Sorry. Teen Titans is by Ben Percy. There's Titans and there's Teen Titans. That's not confusing.
Oh, well, maybe I got confused, though, because here we have someone saying that Titans Rebirth was excellent. And I agree with this. Green Lanterns was great until the very end when the focus left Jessica and Simon and went to Hal Jordan. As much as I love Hal Jordan, I agree. The reason I read that book was for Jessica and Simon.
How did you feel about Hal Jordan in the 90s, Jess?
I did not like any of that.
Were you pretty upset?
Yeah, I didn't buy any of it.
You must have been really happy when Rebirth came out. Green Lantern Rebirth by Jeff Johns.
Very much so. Yeah, that really put me off. All of it did.
And the fridging?
Yeah.
You know it's bad whenever you generate a term to describe a terrible thing in comics.
Well, no, wait a sec. Maybe these books were good. Ben Percy did Teen Titans and Dan Abnett did Titans. Those are two good writers. Maybe I heard completely wrong. Did you guys really like those books?
Everyone in the comments is saying they love Titans Rebirth.
They did love Titans. Teen Titans was fun. Titans was by Abnett. Well, I like both. I love Dan Abnett, and I really like Ben Percy.
I need to read the Abnett Aquaman stuff from Rebirth.
That was one of the books I meant to mention, which is really good.
Geo, you can breathe a sigh of relief. I know at some point I do want to have Geo on for an Aquaman episode.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Because I'm someone who's I've only read Aquaman by Jeff Johns. So if I could have Geo come on and tell me what to read, that'd be great.
Titans Rebirth was excellent, and Teen Titans was fun. Well, where did I hear?
It was probably Omar messing with you. He told you to buy JLA, the deluxe edition.
There's a lot of love for Teen Titans and Titans in the chat. That's really that's good.
I'm seeing a lot of love for Heroes in Crisis and its version of Wally in the chat.
No, what?
I was joking. I haven't heard anybody say they love the Wally West portion of Heroes in Crisis.
No, Teen Titans was very enjoyable. Okay. Well, okay, good. I'll start reading those. Do
you have them?
Sorry?
Do you have both series?
No, I don't have either.
You can check them out on Hoopla.
Okay, good.
And then see if you want to buy them.
I'd rather just read them online because obviously, even if I have room for the books, I don't know where they are.
There's no guarantee that you'll actually be able to find them once you buy them.
Right.
I don't want to say they have to be there because Stumptown should be there, but it's not. So,
well,
there was another book you lost too, right? You couldn't find. It was like a volume 2 of something. I think it was was it a Sandman Universe book you couldn't find?
Sandman Universe.
There was another book that went into the cornfield as well. I can't remember that. I can't keep up, Jess.
I think I forgot to buy. I forgot to buy like the Dreaming book one. I bought 2, and I just didn't buy one for Sandman Universe.
So you didn't lose it. You just didn't buy it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I remember about that. But that is weird about Wonder Woman because are they trades or are they hardcovers?
They're hardcovers, I think. Let me look at the picture. I wish I could. For some reason, I can't share it. It's not coming into my email for some reason.
Highland G, yeah, I do have Titans Hunt, which I really enjoyed. So I will read it before the reading Titans. Thank you.
Here, Jess, I'm sending you the picture on your phone. So
okay.
You can see it.
Okay.
They look like 2 hardcovers. And Johnny Airwindow says that I missed Nightwing. I was playing with my action figures. That's a great way to spend your Saturday night, by the way. Playing with action figures is always a good idea. I do like the Nightwing run. I just need to pick up the last 2 hardcovers of that run by Tim Seeley.
I love that he went back and researched it and screen capped me holding these up. Love is a Battlefield and the Just War. Is it possible I read them and didn't like them and then gave them away?
I have no idea. They're probably still in the cellophane. I would think. Maybe Tyler took them hostage, along with the other hostages in his office.
Oh, these are hardcovers.
Yeah, that's what I said. They're standard hardcovers.
Okay, we did talk about this, Joe Latorre. We did talk about Hal Jordan and GL Corp probably halfway through the show. Thank you for bringing that up. Pre-show Omni says, have you guys secured your copy of Criminal Deluxe? I pre-ordered it from a place that I think you pre-ordered it from too, right?
I haven't yet, but I'm going to.
I think you better do it. Is it because you want to, you're not happy spending?
The prices for this one website are very high, especially with the shipping. And it's just like, I wonder if I'm just wondering if it's really going to sell out, because none of the other hardcovers sold out for months. I know it's going to be annoying for them to get in. I think the problem is just getting them in from DCBS. I think once they get in, they're not going to be selling out though. But I could be wrong. It's just a lot of money. It's just a lot of money to spend. I'm just tired of panic buying. I really am. But I guess that's part of what it is right now.
I haven't been panic buying since I started pre-ordering stuff. But it kind of came back to bite me because it got canceled.
Right.
This is where I got it from, Joe Blair. I did get it from Organic Price Books. Criminal 2.
That's probably what I'll do for tonight.
I would, because I would think he'd be selling out of that, because nobody else has it up for pre-order.
Right.
Even Amazon doesn't have it up for pre-order.
Yeah, I know. My thought is, I know he's the one who has it for pre-order right now. I know it's an annoying situation where nobody has it, but once they get in, I'm wondering if they're actually going to sell out right away. That's okay. Because the Cruel Summer didn't sell out for a while. I don't think it's sold out yet. It's about to, I think.
Okay.
And then the third hardcover hasn't sold out. That's been out for a few months. So do you know what I mean? I just don't know if I want to panic buy, but I also don't want to miss out on it. So that's why
I've been panic buying to pre-order it. He does have a discount on it.
I know it's not panic buying, but I know I can get it for cheaper in other places. That's the only thing. But I probably will get it tonight on his website.
Okay, Taylor, whatever your name is. Okay. You can stop that in the chat. I'm not biting on that one. Just stop that. You know I'm not even going to respond. You guys think you're going to bait me. Forget it. Okay, so this was our chat on DC Rebirth. We didn't go off on any tangents. I don't know. I feel like we started from the very beginning, didn't we, on topic?
Yeah, we kind of did some small tangents, nothing too crazy.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. We totally appreciate it. I appreciate everybody in the chat that's tuned in. I appreciate everybody that watches this afterwards. Thank you very much. Thank you to the Minister of Comics for joining. This was a lot of fun. And you can see the Minister of Comics on Instagram, and his address is @Minister of Comics. It is also in the description on a clickable link, a hot link, a live link, as well as my Instagram, which is omnidogs_vault on Instagram. And you can go back a couple of years to see my video, How to Read DC Rebirth. And I think I probably misplaced some Wonder Woman back then, too.
Well, hopefully in 2 weeks you'll have the Wonder Woman books to show off, Jess.
Maybe I read them and gave them away. Maybe I didn't like them.
I don't know. Possible. Again, this is why Goodreads is so important, because you can go back to your Goodreads and see what you read.
That's what I'm doing this year.
So
Right.
that's what it's another reinforcement for why Goodreads is important, having a reading challenge.
Taylor, you are 100% right.
There we go.
100% right. That's why I'm doing Goodreads this year. And my reading challenge.
And join us in 2 weeks for a show about Jeff Johns' Superman. I look forward to it.
Okay, Lloyd, I will. Thank you to everybody. And let's see, Omnibros on Sunday at noon, Omnibros Monday night at 8. And I'm going to try and make some more videos, just review videos. If I ever can stop doing chores and actually read. So peace and love, peace and love. Thank you to everybody. Really appreciate your viewership. Thank you so much.